Hey. Hey, Victoria. How you doing? Oops, nope, that's not what I meant to hit. I meant to hit this button, and instead I hit the other button. Yeah, that's what I meant to do. That's what I meant to do. Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Oh, bonk, you're gonna bonk your head on. Don't bonk your head on the rings. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, don't do that. Okay. Okay. You want to turn your head this way so you don't bonk? No? You want to bonk? You want to bonk your head on the rings? I don't think you want to. I don't think you do. Yeah. Mommy needs to empty this thing. It's very full. Can she do it while holding you? Let's find out. Oh, lean down. There we go. We did it. We did it. I know, she's got a lot of hair. Good morning, Isabella. Good morning, everyone. Oh, we have a tube problem this morning. Uh-oh, what kind? Hey, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. We have a sun problem this morning, it looks like. Why is the sun, like, doing that thing, you know? Good morning, Roxy. Good morning, good morning. Roxy, I had packed your last package before I knew you wanted rubber duckies, so the rubber duckies will be in your next package because it was already gone. So, hey Ray, how are you? Good morning, everyone is here. Good morning to all of our friends. Do I have a favorite mug? I do. Right now, this is my favorite mug. It fluctuates though, but right now that is. The sun is just putting a spotlight on us. It's very interesting. We're dancing, we're trying to block the sun. We're doing one of those. Good, how'd you sleep last night? Shockingly well. Nutella in the coffee, ooh, that's exciting. That does sound good. I put cookie butter in mine sometimes because I need it to be sugar-free. You know, what if I turn the camera this way? Maybe that's better. She slept for 7 hours straight last night without warning, y'all. That was a surprise. It was a huge surprise. She didn't sleep very well during the day yesterday. You like the cupcake one? Yeah, that one is that usually is my favorite too. But right now I need more coffee and this one holds more. 7 hours she slept last night, which was shocking to me. And I hope it doesn't mess up my supply because I didn't wake up in the middle of the night because I didn't know she was going to sleep 7 hours. and so I didn't set an alarm for myself to wake up and pump without her. 7 hours is amazing. So then when she woke up, obviously it was like, 4 a.m. What time is it going to be? But yeah, so I didn't know. So obviously I'm going to have to set alarms now if she's going to sleep that long, to get up and pump myself without her or something. I don't know. I'm going to have to do something. Yeah. Because usually I found out last night that I'm going to be, that's so exciting, Avery. That's very exciting. So yeah, I'm wondering like what to do, because so far I've only ever woken up in the middle of the night when she wakes up, and then I feed her, put her back to bed, and then I pump afterwards usually. But obviously that won't work if she's going to sleep 7 hours. Maybe it was a fluke. Maybe it was a one-time thing. I don't really know. I don't really know. But, Hello, everybody. Yes, hello, Anya. Congratulations to Avery. Avery, how far along is your sister or sister-in-law? Are you trying to suffocate yourself in mommy's chest? Hey, Slav. Definitely a sign that she's eating great. Yeah, no, she eats really well. I mean, her pediatrician is not worried about her growth at all because she gains well, so they've never even, like, in her very first week, like when we were going in for her first appointments, she's 12 weeks old, so it's pretty early. We were going in for her first appointments, they kept asking if I was supplementing with formula because she was growing so well, and I was like, no, I just feed her on demand. She eats whenever she wants. I don't have a schedule. If she tells me she's hungry, I give her food, and that's it. I would supplement with formula if she needed it, but, I'm glad I don't have to pay for that. I wish I had known about slings like that with my kids. Oh my god. The sling is a lifesaver. You don't even know, Jack. It's literally... Is it choppy for you guys? I can stop and start because we haven't started reading yet, so we can always stop and start if we need to. Is the internet bad? Not choppy? It's fine. Half of you it is, half of you it isn't. Interesting. Maybe, okay. Roxy and whoever else said it was choppy, try going out and back in and see if it fixes it, and if it doesn't fix it, I'll restart before we start reading, because we still have time to do that, but if it does fix it, then we're okay. Let me put these away really quickly, and you guys can test it. You sleep. I think someone is on the verge of sleep. It's good for you now. Okay, great. Hopefully that works. I think it may be distorting the picture a little. Oh, the sun definitely is distorting the picture a little. Yes. Yes. Let's move and see if moving helps. Is it still whatever? I stopped to take a sip. That wasn't a freezing internet. I needed a sip. I think somebody is falling asleep. She's not asleep yet, but she's getting there, which is great for mommy. Okay. You guys see that I washed my hair this morning? I know she is so big. I washed my hair this morning. Are you proud of me? Are you sleepy? Yeah, I think we're falling asleep. She slept so well. It was wild. 7 hours. Can you believe that? 7 hours. Can you see the starts of her curls here? Do you see how it's pretty clear that she's gonna have curly hair because even her little baby hair is wavy? Well, Ray, believe it or not, We shower every morning. And by we, I mean me, but I say we because she, I did not style it yet, but we'll see if we can get there. The schedule that I have for her now that provides her the best day is that I make her wake up at 7:30 in the morning. Usually she wakes up on her own by then anyway, but if she's not awake by 7:30 in the morning, what is in my hair? Oh, is that on the screen? Oh, there's something on the screen? I don't know. And wake her up at 7:30 in the morning if she's not awake. Liz, will you text me? She fell asleep, so like 8:42-ish. And then, it's distorted but manageable. Is it distorted for anyone else? Because it looks okay on my screen. There was just one little speck on my screen, a real thing. So I wake her up at 7:30. We take off her owlet, do the whole like play, whatever like that. And then I have her bouncer, her like Baby Bjorn bouncer thing that my mom got for her, and I put that in the bathroom with me facing the shower so that we can still see each other, and we hang out, and it is very sunny and bright, that is true. We hang out while I shower, so I was able to wash my hair because she likes being in the bouncer in the bathroom. It thrills her for some reason. She thinks it's hilarious. Like, even if you just turn the shower on, she starts laughing. She thinks the water is hilarious. And so I talk her through how we brush our teeth, how we get dressed, how we wash our hair, and we do that in the morning, and then we eat. And that has been pretty good about getting her to sleep through book club just by doing those things. It's not foolproof. She doesn't sleep through every book club, but she's been sleeping through at least half of all of them since I started doing that. So I must say, it's not a bad process. It gets her brain going in the morning, and then she sleeps, I think that's what it is anyway. I think it's because I make her like do stuff, It is a baby. That's true. It is a baby. Oh, I'm sure she's gonna swim. We are a big swimming family, so I think she'll swim. Before I was pregnant, her dad and I used to swim for our exercise on our lunch breaks. It's true. We used to go down to the pool on lunch breaks and swim. What? A baby? Okay, so we are gonna read, and we might, if you guys have time, be able to read a little extra today because Secret Husband wanted to sleep in just a smidge extra today before we go to the farmer's market. So if we have time, I might stay a little, not a baby or robot. My friend loves the Hunger Games. Oh, well, we all love the Hunger Games here. We're on chapter 16 today, so maybe we'll read a little extra depending on how we go through here. I want you to move your head so that you don't bang your head on these rings. I don't want you to bang your head. I know that you're comfy. Okay, I'm gonna move this just a little. How about that? Since we're sitting down, you don't need as much support because we're seated. Yeah? Does that make sense? You don't need the support because you can lean on mommy. But you don't have to put your head on the rings. Little snory baby. I'm not doing it because I don't want to put anyone on blast, but what I really wanted to do last night was turn on the camera and record the sounds that happen between the two other people who sleep in my room and let you guys laugh with me and consider it a miracle that I ever get any sleep. It's pretty funny. That's all I'm going to say about that. Thank you, Amanda, for understanding my couched way of saying that. I don't want to do it because I don't want to be mean, but it is funny. I was up in the middle of the night and I was listening to the two of them and I was like, wow, it's a miracle I ever sleep, ever. It would be funny, yes. Okay, so we're on chapter 16, and if anyone is keeping track for their Goodreads, we are on page 208 to start, and let's get into it because we have a little extra time today, so let's use it wisely and read as much as we can. Rue has decided to trust me wholeheartedly. I know this because as soon as the anthem finishes, she snuggles up against me and falls asleep. Nor do I have any misgivings about her, as I take no particular precautions. If she wanted me dead, all she would have had to do is disappear from that tree without pointing at the tracker-jacker nest. Needling me at the very back of my mind is the obvious. Both of us cannot win these games, but since the odds are still against either of us surviving, I manage to ignore that thought. Besides, I'm distracted by my last idea about the careers and their supplies. Somehow Rue and I must find a way to destroy their food. I'm pretty sure feeding themselves will be a tremendous struggle. Traditionally, the career tribute's strategy is to get hold of all the foods early and work from there. The years when they've not protected it well, one year a pack of hideous reptiles destroyed it, and another a game maker's flood washed it away, well, those are usually the years when the tributes from other districts have won. That the careers have been better fed growing up is actually to their disadvantage, because they don't know how to be hungry. Not the way Rue and I do, but I'm too exhausted to begin any detailed plan tonight. My wounds are recovering, my mind is still a bit foggy from the venom, and the warmth of Rue at my side, her head cradled on my shoulder, has given me some sense of security. I realize for the first time how very lonely I've been in the arena, how comforting the presence of another human can be, and I give in to my drowsiness, resolving that tomorrow the tables will turn. Tomorrow, it's the careers who will have to watch their backs. The boom of the cannon jolts me awake, and the sky is streaked with light. The birds are already chattering, and Rue perches in a branch across from me, her hands cupping something. We wait, listening for more shots, but there aren't any. Who was it, do you think? I can't help but thinking of Peeta. I don't know, but it could have been any of the others, says Rue. I guess we'll know later tonight. Who's left again? I ask. That one boy from District 1, both tributes from 2, the boy from 3, Thresh and me, you and Peeta, says Rue. That's 8. Well, wait, no. And the boy from 10, the one with the bad leg. He makes 9. There's someone else, but neither of us can remember who it is. I wonder how that last one died, says Rue. No telling, but it's good for us. A death should hold the crowd for a bit. Maybe we have time to do something before the game makers decide that we've been moving too slowly, I say. What's that in your hands? Breakfast, says Rue, and she holds it out, revealing 2 big eggs. What kind are those? I asked. Not sure. There's a marshy area over that way, some kind of water bird, she says. It would be nice to cook them, but neither of us wants to risk a fire. My guess is the tribute who died today was a victim of the careers, which means that they've recovered enough to be back in the games. We each suck out the insides of an egg, eat a rabbit leg and some berries. It's a good breakfast anyway. All right, ready to do it? I say, pulling on my pack. Do what? Says Rue, but by the way she bounces up, you can tell she's up for anything that I propose. Today we take out the careers' food, I say. Really? How? You can see the glint of excitement in her eyes. In this way, she's exactly the opposite of Prim, who for whom adventures are an ordeal. I don't have any idea yet. Come on, we're gonna figure out a plan while we hunt, I say. I don't get much hunting done, though, because I'm too busy getting every scrap of information I can out of Rue about the careers base. She's been a spy on their camp briefly, but she's observant. They've set up their camp beside the lake. Their supply stash is about 30 yards away. During the day, they've been leaving another tribute boy from District 3 to wash over the supplies. The boy from District 3? I ask. Hey, Gigi. He's working? With them? Yeah, he stays at the camp full time. He got stung too when they drew the tracker jackers in by the lake, says Rue. I guess they agreed to let him live if he acted like a guard, but he's not very big. Does he have weapons? I ask. Not much that I could see. A spear. He might be able to hold a few of us off with that, but Thresh could kill him really easily, says Rue. And the food's just there, out in the open, I say, and she nods. Something's not quite right about that whole setup. I know, but I couldn't tell what exactly, says Rue. Katniss, even if you could get to the food, how would you get rid of it? Burn it, dump it in the lake, soak it in fuel? I poke Rue in the belly just like I would to Prim. I'd eat it. And then she giggles. Don't worry, I'll think of something. Destroying things is much easier than making them. And for a while we dig roots and we gather berries and greens and we strategize in hushed voices. And I've come to know Rue, the oldest of 6 kids, fiercely protective of her siblings, who gives the rations to the younger ones, who forages in the meadow in a district where the peacekeepers are far less obliging than ours. Rue, who when you ask her what she loves most in the world, replies of all things, music. Music, I say. In our world, I rank music somewhere between hair ribbons and rainbows in terms of usefulness. At least a rainbow gives you a tip about the weather. You have a lot of time for music? We sing at home, and at work too. That's why I love your pin, she says, pointing out the mockingjay that I've forgotten all about. You have mockingjays? I ask. Oh yeah, I have a few that are my special friends. We can sing back and forth for hours. They carry messages with me, she says. What do you mean? Well, I'm usually the highest up, so I'm the first to see the flag that signals it's quitting time, and there's a special little song that I do, says Rue, and she opens her mouth and sings a little 4-note run in a sweet, clear voice, and then the mockingjays spread it around the orchard. That's how everyone knows that we can knock off, she continues. They can be dangerous, though, if you get too near their nests, but you can't really blame them for that, right? I unclasp the pin and I hold it out to her. Here, you take it. It has more meaning to you than it does to me. Oh no, says Rue, closing my fingers back over the pin. I like to see it on you. That's how I decided I could trust you. Besides, I have this. She pulls a necklace woven out of some kind of grass from inside her shirt. On it hangs a roughly carved wooden star, or maybe it's a flower. It's a good luck charm. We're reading the Hunger Games. Well, it's worked for you so far, I say, pinning the Mockingjay back onto my shirt. Maybe you should just stick with that. And by lunch we have a plan. By early afternoon we're poised to carry it out, and I help Rue collect and place the wood for the first 2 campfires. The third she'll have time for on her own, and we decide to meet afterwards at the site where we ate our first meal together. The stream should help guide me back to it. Before I leave, I make sure that Rue is well stocked with food and matches, and I even insist that she take my sleeping bag in case it's not possible to rendezvous by nightfall. What about you? Won't you be cold? She asks. Well, not if I pick up another bag down by the lake, I say. You know, stealing isn't illegal in here, I say with a grin. And at the last minute, Rue decides to teach me her Mockingjay signal, the one that she gives to indicate a day's work is done. Like, it might not work, but if you hear the Mockingjay sing it, you'll know I'm okay, and that I can't get back to you right away. Are there many Mockingjays here? I ask. Haven't you seen them? They've got nests everywhere, she says, and I have to admit I honestly hadn't noticed. Okay then, well, if all goes according to plan, I'll see you for dinner, I say. And unexpectedly, Rue throws her arms around me, and I hesitate for a moment before I hug her back. You be careful, she says to me. You too, I say, and then I turn to head back to the stream, feeling somehow worried. Rue, about her being killed, about her not being killed and the 2 of us being left for last, about Rue being left alone, about leaving Prim alone back at home. No, Prim's not alone. She has my mother and Gale and the baker who's promised that she won't go hungry. Rue only has me. And once I reach the stream, I only have to follow it down to the place that I initially picked it up after the tracker jacker attack. I have to be cautious as I move along the water, though, because I find my thoughts preoccupied with the unanswered questions, most of which concern PETA. The cannon that fired early this morning, did that signify his death? And if so, how did he die? Was it at the hands of a career? And was that the revenge for letting me live? I struggle again to remember that moment over Glimmer's body when he burst through the trees, but just the fact that he was sparkling leads me to doubt everything that happened. I must have been moving very slowly yesterday because I reached the shallow stretch where I took my bath in just a few hours. I stop to replenish my water and I add a layer of mud to my backpack. It seems bent on reverting back to orange no matter how many times I cover it up. My proximity to the careers camp sharpens my senses, and the closer I get to them, the more guarded I am, pausing frequently to listen for unnatural sounds. An arrow is already fitted into the string of my bow, and I don't see any other tributes, but I do notice some things that Rue has mentioned. Patches of sweet berries, a bush with leaves that healed my stings, clusters of tracker jacker nests in the vicinity of the tree that I was trapped in, and here and there black and white flashes of a mockingjay wing that branches overhead. When I reach the tree with the abandoned nest at the foot, I pause a moment to gather my courage. Rue has been given specific instructions has given me specific instructions on how to reach the best spying place near the lake from this point. Remember, I tell myself, you are the hunter now, not them. And I get a firmer grasp on my bow and go on. I make it to the copse Rue has told me about again, and I have to admire her cleverness. It's right at the edge of the woods, but the bushy foliage is so thick down low that I can barely observe the career camp without being spotted. Between us lies the flat expanse where the games began. There are 4 tributes: the boy from District 1, Cato, the girl from District 2, the boy from District 1, Cato and the girl from District 2, and a scrawny, ashen-skinned boy who must be the one from District 3. He made almost no impression on me during our time in the capital, though. I can remember almost nothing about him, not his costume, not his training score, not his interview, and even now as he sits there fiddling with some kind of plastic box, he's easily ignored in the presence of his large and domineering companions. But he must be of some sort of value or they wouldn't have bothered to let him live. Still, seeing him only adds to my sense of unease over the way that the careers would possibly leave him as guard. Why have they allowed him to live at all? All 4 tributes seem to still be recovering from the tracker jacker attack, and even from here I can see the large swollen lumps on their bodies. They must not have had the sense to remove the stingers, or if they did, they didn't know about the leaves that healed them. Apparently, whatever medicine can be found in the cornucopia seems to have been ineffective. The cornucopia sits in an original position, but but the insides have been picked clean. Most of the supplies held crates, burlap sacks, and plastic bins, and they're neatly packed into a pyramid that seems a questionable distance from the camp. Others are sprinkled around the perimeter of the pyramid. They're almost mimicking a layout of supplies around the cornucopia at the onset of the games. A canopy of nesting, and aside from discouraging birds, it seems to be useless to shelter it in the pyramid itself. The whole setup is completely perplexing. The distance, the netting, the presence of the boy from District 3, and one thing is for sure, destroying those supplies is not going to be as simple as it looks. Some other factor is at play here, and I better stay put until I figure out what it is. My guess is that the pyramid is a booby trap in some manner, and I think of the concealed pits, descending nets, and a thread that when broken sends a poisonous dart into your heart. Really, the possibilities here are endless. While I'm mulling over my options, I hear Cato shout out. He's pointing up into the woods far beyond me, and without turning I know that Rue must have set the first campfire. We made sure to gather enough green wood to make the smoke noticeable. The couriers begin to arm themselves at once. An argument breaks out. It's loud enough for me to hear that it concerns whether or not the boy from District 3 should stay or should accompany them.
Well, he's coming. We need him in the woods, and his job here's done anyway. No one can touch those supplies, says Cato. What about Lover Boy, says the boy from District 1. I keep telling you, forget about him. I know where I cut him, and it's honestly a miracle he hasn't bled to death yet. At any rate, he's in no shape to raid us, says Cato.
So, Peeta's out there in the woods, wounded badly, but I'm still in the dark about what motivated him to betray the couriers.
Come on,
says Cato, and he thrusts a spear into the hand of the boy from District 3 and headed off in the direction of the fire. The last thing I hear as they enter the woods is Cato saying,
when we find her, I'll kill her in my own way, and no one interferes.
Somehow I don't think he's talking about Rue. She didn't drop a nest of tracker jackers on him. I stay put for half an hour or so trying to figure out what to do about these supplies. The one advantage I have with the bow and arrow is distance. I could send a flaming arrow into the pyramid easily enough. I'm good enough of a shot to get into those openings in the net, but there's no guarantee that it would catch fire. More likely it would just burn itself out, and then what? I'd have achieved nothing. I'd give far too much information about myself, that I was here, that I have an accomplice, and that I can use a bow and arrow with accuracy. There's no alternative. I'm going to have to get closer to see if I can't discover what protects the supplies. In fact, I'm just about to reveal myself when a moment catches my eye. Several hundred yards to my right, I see that someone emerges from the woods. And for a second, I think it's Rue, but no. Then I recognize that it's Foxface. She's the one we couldn't remember this morning, creeping out into the plain. And when she's decided it's safe, she runs for the pyramid with quick, small steps. And just before she reaches the circle of supplies that have been littered around the pyramid, she stops. She searches the ground and carefully places her feet on that spot, and then she begins to approach the pyramid with strange little hops, sometimes landing on one foot, teetering slightly, sometimes risking a few steps, and at one point she launches up into the air over a small barrel and lands poised on her tiptoes. But she overshot slightly, and her momentum throws her forward. I can hear her give a sharp squeal as her hands hit the ground, but nothing happens. In a moment she's regained her feet, and she continues until she's reached the bulk of the supplies. So I'm right about the booby trap. It's clearly more complex than I'd imagined, and I was right about the girl too. How wily is she to have discovered this path into the food and to be able to replicate it so neatly? She fills her pack and takes a few items from a variety of containers. Crackers from a crate, a handful of apples from a burlap sack that hangs suspended from a rope off the side of a bin, but only a handful from each, and not enough to tip off that the food is missing, not enough to cause suspicion. And then she's doing her odd little dance right back out of the circle and scampering into the woods again. Safe and sound. I realize that I'm gritting my teeth in frustration. Foxface has confirmed what I'd guessed already, but what sort of trap have they laid that requires such dexterity and has so many trigger points? Why did she squeal so as her hands made contact with the earth? You'd have thought, and slowly it begins to dawn on me, you'd have thought that the ground was going to explode. It's mind, I whisper to myself. That explains everything. The courier's willingness to leave their supplies, Foxface's reaction, the involvement of the boy from District 3 where they have the factories, where they make the televisions, the automotives, and the explosives. But where did he get them? In the supplies? That's not the sort of weapon that the game makers usually provide, given that they like to see the tributes draw blood personally. But I slip out of the bushes and I cross to one of the round metal plates that lifted the tributes into the arena. The ground around it has been dug up and patted back down.
The landmines were disabled after 60 seconds that we stood on the plates, but the boy from District 3 must have managed to reactivate them. I've never seen anyone in the games do that. I bet it came as a shock even to the game makers. Well, hooray for the boy from District 3 for putting one over on them. But what am I supposed to do now? Obviously, I can't go strolling into that mess without blowing myself sky high. And as for sending a burning arrow in, well, that's more laughable than ever. The mines are set off by pressure, and it doesn't have to be a lot either. One year, a girl dropped her token and a small wooden ball, which was a small wooden ball, while she was standing at her plate, and they literally had to scrape bits of her off the ground. My arm's pretty good. I might be able to chuck some rocks in there and set off, maybe one mine? That could start a chain reaction, or could it? Would the boy from District 3 have placed the mines in such a way that a single mine would not disturb the others, thereby protecting the supplies and ensuring the death of just the invader? Well, if I only blew up one mine, I would draw the careers back down on me for sure. And anyway, what am I thinking? There's that net, clearly strung to deflect any such attacks, and besides, what I really need is to throw about 30 rocks in there at once, and that would set off a big chain reaction and demolish the whole lot. And I glance back up at the woods. The smoke from Rue's second fire is wafting towards the sky, and by now the careers have probably begun to suspect it's some sort of a trick. Time is running out. There is a solution to this, I know there is, if only I can focus hard enough. I stare at the pyramid, at the bins, the crates. It's too heavy to topple over with an arrow. Maybe one contains cooking oil, and the burning arrow idea is revitalizing when I realize that I could end up losing all 12 of my arrows and not direct hitting the oil bin. And since then I would just be guessing anyway. I'm genuinely thinking of trying to recreate Fox Face's trip up the pyramid in hopes of finding a new means of deconstruction when my eyes light on the burlap sack of apples. If I could sever that rope in one shot, I didn't do as much in the training center. I did, didn't I? It's a big bag, but it still might only be good for one explosion. If only I could free the apples themselves. I know what to do. I move into range and I give myself 3 arrows to get the job done. I place my feet carefully and I block out the rest of the world as I take a meticulous aim. The first arrow tears through the side of the bag nearly to the top, and it leaves a split in the burlap. The second widens into a gaping hole, and I can see the first apple teetering when I let the third arrow go, and it catches the torn flap of burlap and rips it from the bag. And for a moment, everything seems frozen in time. And then apples spill to the ground, and I'm blown backwards into the air. Ooh. I also read the newest book. It's really, really good, Jelly Bean. Yeah, it's really good. That's kind of what inspired us to reread the whole series. So there was an explosion. Are you the sleepiest girl? And I need a little bit of coffee to get us through the next chapter. Just leaning forward really quick, sorry. Okay. So Foxface did her thing. Rue's doing her thing. Katniss did her thing. Boom. That's what we learned in this one so far. Oh, and Pete is injured somewhere. Apparently a big injury, according to Cato. Okay. All right. You're sleeping so soundly. I always hate when she sleeps so quietly because I'm like, are you there? And I like put my little finger under her, little nosy to feel her breathing. But you can see her chest is rising and falling, or at least I can see it, and I can feel it, and that's good. And that's not being a nervous new mom. I hate this piece of hair. If I didn't think that it would mess up the entire flow of my hair, I would just chop off this piece, because it always does this weird thing, and I hate it so much. Anyway, I know not to, oh, good. She made a sound. We love a snory baby. It's great. All right. Chapter 17. Flip it to the other side. I try to, but the problem is I have a cowlick. I have a cowlick right here, so the hairs go in direction. Yeah, it would stick straight up. So I always try to put it over on this side, and then part of the way through the day, it just goes back because this is a cowlick right here. And that's why my bangs go so like, my bangs are such a stark over to the side. My brother and sister and I all have this cowlick right here, and I found out this week that my aunt has the same cowlick right here. My mom has one also, but it's not in the exact same spot, but we all, like our entire family has cowlicks on this side of our head. So it just causes this. Nothing you can really do about it. Okay. Chapter 17, page 22. The impact with the hard-packed earth of the plane knocks the wind out of me. My backpack does little to soften the blow. Fortunately, my quiver has caught in the crook of my elbow, sparing both itself and my shoulder, and my bow is locked in its grasp. The ground still shakes with the explosions. I can't hear them. I can't hear anything at the moment, but the apples must have set off enough of the mines, causing debris to activate the others. I manage to shield my face with my arms as shattered bits of matter, some of it burning, rain down all around me. An acrid smoke fills the air, which is not the best remedy for someone trying to regain the ability to breathe. After about a minute, the ground stops vibrating, and I roll onto my side and allow myself a moment of satisfaction, the sight of the smoldering wreckage that I made out of what was recently that pyramid. The careers aren't likely to salvage anything after that. I better get out of here, I think to myself. They'll be making a beeline for the place. But once I'm on my feet, I realize escape might not be so simple. I'm dizzy, not the slight wobbly kind, but the kind that sends trees swooping down around you and causes the earth to move in waves under your feet. I take a few steps, and somehow I wind up on my hands and knees. I wait a few minutes to let it pass, but it doesn't pass. Panic begins to set in. I can't stay here. Flight is essential, but I can neither walk nor hear. I place my hand to my left ear, the one that was turned toward the blast, and it comes away bloody. Have I gone deaf from this explosion? The idea of that frightens me. I rely as much on my ears as my eyes as a hunter, maybe more at times, but I can't let my fear show. Absolutely, positively, I am live on every screen in Panem right now. No blood trails, I tell myself, and I manage to pull my hood up over my head. I tie the cord under my chin with cooperative fingers. That should help soak up the blood. I can't walk, but can I crawl? I move forward tentatively. Yes, if I go very slowly, I can crawl. Most of the woods will offer insufficient coverage. My only hope is to make it back to Rue's copse, and I conceal myself in the greenery. I can't get caught out here on my hands and knees out in the open. Not only will I face death, but it will surely be a long and painful one at Cato's hands. The thought of Prim having to watch that keeps me dodging inch by inch toward the hideout. Another blast knocks me flat on my face. It's a stray mine set off by some collapsing crate. This happens twice more, and I'm reminded of those last few kernels that burn when Prim and I pop popcorn over the fire at home. To say that I make it out in the nick of time is an understatement. I have literally just dragged myself into the tangle of bushes at the base of the tree when there's Cato barreling out onto the plain, and soon he's followed by his companions. His rage is so extreme that it might as well be comical. So people really do tear out their hair and beat the ground with their fists when they're mad? If I didn't know better, I would think that was aimed at me, at what I had done to him. Add that to my proximity and my ability to run or defend myself, and in fact, the whole thing has me terrified. I'm glad that my hiding place makes it impossible for the cameras to get a shot of me right now, because I'm biting my nails like there's no tomorrow. I'm gnawing off the last bit of nail polish, trying to keep my teeth from chattering. The boy from District 3 throws stones into the ruins and must have declared all the mines activated because the careers are approaching the wreckage. Cato's finished the first phase of his tantrum, and he takes the anger out on the smoking remains by kicking various open containers. The other tributes are poking around in the mess looking for anything that could be salvaged, but there's nothing. The boy from District 3 has done his job too well. The idea must occur to Cato too, because he turns on the boy and he begins shouting at him. The boy from District 3 only has time to turn and run before Cato catches him in a headlock from behind, and I can see the boy's muscles ripple in Cato's arms as he jerks sharply to the boy's head to the side. It's that quick. The death of the boy from District 3. The other two careers seem to be trying to calm Cato down. I can tell that he wants to return to the woods, but they keep pointing at the sky, which puzzles me until I realize, of course, they think whoever set off the explosion is dead. They don't know about the arrows and the apples. They assume that the booby trap was faulty, but that the tribute who blew up the supplies was killed doing it. If there was a cannon shot, it could have easily been lost in that subsequent explosion. The shattered remains of the thief are removed by the hovercraft. They retire far to the side of the lake to allow the game makers to retrieve the body of the boy from District 3, and then they wait. I suppose a cannon goes off, A hovercraft appears and takes the dead boy. The sun dips below the horizon. Night falls. Up in the sky, I see the seal, and I know that the anthem must have begun. And there's a moment of darkness. They show the boy from District 3. They show the boy from District 10 who must have died this morning. And then the seal reappears. So now they know. The bomber survived. And in the seal's light, I can see Cato and the girl from District 2 put on their night vision glasses. The boy from District 1 ignites a tree branch for a torch, illuminating the grim determination on their faces. The careers stride back into the woods to hunt. The dizziness has subsided, and while my left ear is still deafened, I can hear a ringing in my right, which seems to be a good sign. There's no point in leaving my hiding place, though. I'm about as safe as I can be here as at the crime scene. They probably think that the bomber has 2 or 3 hours of a lead in front of them. Still, it's a long time before I risk moving. The first thing I do is dig out my own glasses and put them on, which relaxes me a little to at least have one of my hunter's senses working. I drink some water and I wash the blood from my ear, fearing the smell of meat will draw in unwanted predators. Fresh blood is bad enough. I make a good meal out of the greens and roots and berries that Rue and I gathered today. Where is my little ally? Did she make it back to the rendezvous point? Is she worried about me? At least the sky has shown that we're both alive. I run through the surviving tributes on my fingers. The boy from District 1, both of the tributes from 2, Foxface, both from 11 and 12. It's just 8 of us. The betting must be getting really hot in the capital. They'll be doing special features on each of us now, probably interviewing our friends and families. It's been a long time since a tribute from District 12 has made it to the top 8, and now there are 2 of us. Although from what Cato said, Peta's on his way out. Not that Cato's the final word on anything. Didn't he just lose his entire stash of supplies? Let the 74th Hunger Games begin, Cato, I think. Let them begin, for real. A cold breeze has sprung up and I reach for my sleeping bag before I remember that I left it with Rue. I was supposed to pick up another one, but with the mines and all, I forgot. I begin to shiver. Since roosting overnight in a tree isn't sensible, I scoop out a hollow under the bushes and cover myself with leaves and pine needles. I'm still freezing. I lay my sheet of plastic over my upper body and position my backpack to block the wind. That's a little better. I begin to have more sympathy from the girl from 8 who lit the fire that first night. But it's me now who needs to grit my teeth and tough it out until morning. More leaves, more pine needles. I pull my arms inside my jacket and tuck my knees up into my chest, and somehow I drift off to sleep. When I open my eyes, the world looks slightly fractured, and it takes a minute to realize that the sun might well be up, and the glasses are fragmenting my vision. As I sit up, I remove them, and I hear laughter somewhere near the lake, and I freeze. The laugh's distorted, but the fact that it registers at all means that I must be regaining my hearing. Yes, it's my right ear. I can hear again, although it is still ringing. As for my left ear, well, at least the bleeding has stopped. I peer through the bushes, afraid that the careers have returned, trapping me here for an indefinite amount of time. No, it's Foxface. She's standing in the rubble of the pyramid and laughing. She's smarter than the careers. She's actually finding a few useful items in the ash. A metal pot, a knife blade. I'm perplexed by her amusement till I realize that with the careers store eliminated, she might actually stand a chance, just like the rest of us. It crossed my mind to reveal myself and enlist her as a second ally against the pack, but I ruled that out. There's something about that sly grin that makes me sure befriending Foxface would ultimately get me a knife in the back, and with that in mind, this might be an excellent time to shoot her. But then she's heard something, not me, because she turns her head away and she goes toward the drop-off and sprints into the woods. I wait. No one. Nothing shows up. Still, if Foxface thought it was dangerous, maybe it's time for me to get out of here too. Besides, I'm eager to tell Rue about the pyramid. Hello. My daughter just read this book for the first time. She's on Catching Fire now. Oh yeah, it's a great book. How old is your daughter? My daughter's reading it for the first time too. Just kidding. Are you? You kind of are, right? Since I have no idea where the careers are, the route back to the stream seems as good as any. I hurry, loaded bow in one hand and a hunk of cold grusling in the other, because I'm famished now, and not just for leaves and berries, but for fat and protein in the meat. The trip to the stream is uneventful. Once there, I refill my water and I wash, taking particular care with my injured ear. Hey, baby, what's going on? You want this to move? This can move because you're on mommy. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Okay. Well, you gotta breathe. You gotta get your face out of there. Hi. There you go. There you go. Hello. You want out? Sleep or out? Oh, good burp. Okay. We see him to calm back down. Then I travel uphill using the stream as a guide, and at one point I find boot prints along the mud in the bank. The careers have been here, but not for a while. The prints are deep because they were made in soft mud, but now they're nearly dry in the hot sun. I haven't been careful enough about my own tracks, counting on a light tread in the pine needles to conceal my prints, but now I strip off my boots and my socks and I go barefoot up the stream. The cool water has an invigorating effect on my body and my spirit. I shoot 2 fish, easy pickings in the slow-moving stream, and I go ahead and I eat one raw, even though I just had the gruesling. Are you okay? You want out? You want out? You can have out. Yeah, here. You can have out. It's okay. Yeah, there you go. You can be out. I saved the second one for Rue. Gradually, subtly, the ringing in my right ear diminishes until it's gone entirely, and I find myself pawing at my left ear periodically, trying to clean away whatever deadens its ability to collect sound. If there's improvement, it's undetectable. I can't adjust to the deafness in the ear. It makes me feel off balance and defenseless to my left, blind even. My head keeps turning to the injured side as my right ear tries to compensate for the wall of nothingness where yesterday there was a constant flow of information. The more time that passes, the less hopeful I am that this is an injury that will heal at all. And when I reach the side of our first meeting, I feel certain that it's been disturbed. There's no sign of Rue here, not on the ground or in the trees, but this is odd. By now she should have returned. It's midday. Undoubtedly, she spent the night in a tree somewhere, but what else could she do with no light and the careers with their night vision goggles tromping around in the woods? And there's the third fire she was supposed to set, although I forgot to check for it last night. It was the farthest one from our site, after all. She's probably just being cautious about making her way back. I wish she'd hurry, because I don't want to hang around here for too long. I want to spend the afternoon traveling to higher ground, hunting as we go, but there's nothing for me to do, really. But wait. Yeah, she's got a little grunty baby. I wash the blood out of my jacket and my hair and clean my ever-growing list of wounds. The burns are much better, but I use a bit of medicine on them anyway. The main thing to worry about now is keeping out infection. I go ahead and I eat the second fish. It's not going to last this long in the hot sun, but it should be easy enough to spear a few more for Rue, if she would just show up. Feeling too vulnerable on the ground with my lopsided hearing, I scale the tree to wait. If the careers show up, this will be a fine place to shoot them from. The sun moves slowly. I do things to pass the time. Chew leaves, apply them to my stings that are deflated but still tender. I comb through my damp hair with my fingers and I braid it. I lace my boots back up. I check my bow and remaining 9 arrows. I test my left ear repeatedly for signs of life by rustling a leaf near it, but without good results. Despite the gruesling and the fish, my stomach is still growling, and I know I'm going to have what we call a hollow day back in District 12. There's a day when no matter what you put in your belly, it never feels like enough. Having nothing to do but sit there in the tree makes it worse for me, so I decide to give in. After all, I've lost all the weight in the arena. I need some extra calories, and having a bow and arrow makes me far less confident about my future prospects. I slowly peel and eat a handful of nuts. My last cracker, the gruesling neck. That's good, because it takes time for me to pick it clean. Finally, a gruesling wing and the bird's history. But it's a hollow day, and even with all of that, I start dreaming about food, particularly about the decadent dishes that were served in the capital. The chicken in creamy orange sauce, the cakes, the pudding, bread with butter, noodles in a green sauce, lamb and dried plum stew. I suck on a few mint leaves and I tell myself to get over it. Mint is good. We drink mint tea after supper often, so it tricks my stomach into thinking the eating time is over. Well, sort of. Dangling up in the tree, with the sun warming me and a mouthful of mint, my bow and arrow at hand, this is the most relaxed I've been since I entered the arena. If only Rue would show up and we could clear out. As the shadow grows, so does my restlessness. By late afternoon, I resolve to go look for her. I can at least visit the spot where we set up the third fire and see if there's any clue to her whereabouts. but before I go, I scatter a few mint leaves around our old campfire. Since we gathered these some distance away, Rue will understand that I've been here, while they mean nothing to the careers. In less than an hour, I'm at a place where we agreed to have the third fire, and I know that something has gone amiss. The woods have been neatly arranged, expertly interspersed with tinder, but it's never been lit. Rue set up the fire, but she never made it back here. Somewhere between the column of smoke that I spied before I blew up the supplies and this point she must have run into trouble. I have to remind myself she's still alive, or is she? Could the cannon shot announcing her death have come in the wee hours of the morning when even my good ear was still too broken to pick it up? Will she appear in the sky tonight? No, I refuse to believe it. There could be 100 other explanations. She could have lost her way, run into a pack of predators, or another tribute like Thresh, and maybe she had to hide. Whatever happened, I'm almost certain that she's stuck out there somewhere between the second fire and the unlit one at my feet. Something is keeping her up a tree. I think I'll go hunt it down. That's pretty funny. Tell him I said that's funny, right? That's a good joke. Sarcasm is good. That's funny. It's a relief to be doing something after sitting around all afternoon, so I creep silently through the shadows, letting them conceal me, but nothing seems suspicious. There's no sign of any struggle, no disruption to the needles on the ground. I stopped for just a moment when I hear it, and I cock my head to the side to be sure, but there it is again. It's Rue's 4-note tune coming out of a mockingjay's mouth. That one meant that she's all right. I grin and I move into the direction of the bird. Another is just a short distance ahead and it picks up on a handful of notes. Rue's been singing to them, and recently. Otherwise, they would have taken up some other song. My eyes lift up into the trees, searching for a sign of her, and I swallow and I sing back softly, hoping that she knows it's safe to join me. And a mockingjay repeats the melody to me, and that's when I hear the scream. It's a child's scream, a young girl's scream, and there's no one in the arena capable of making that sound except for Rue. And now I'm running, knowing that this might be a trap, knowing that the careers may be poised to attack me, but I can't help myself. There's another high-pitched scream, and this time, it's my name. Katniss! Katniss! Rue! I shout back so that she knows I'm near, so that they know I'm near, and hopefully the girl who has attacked them with the tracker jackers has gotten an 11, and they still can't explain why, and they pull their attention away from her. Rue, I'm coming! When I break into the clearing, she's on the ground, hopelessly entangled in a net. She's had just enough time that she reaches her hand through the mesh, and she says my name before a spear enters her body. I hate it. Losing Rue is one of the most devastating literary experiences of our lifetime. Me either. How could anyone be a fan? I mean, you don't want to see a baby go. I mean, she's such a little sweetheart. I'm such a sweetheart. All right. I think we have time for one more chapter. Let's see what happens. We can't just leave it there. I know. It doesn't matter how much you know it's going to happen. You hate to see it every time. Chapter 18. I know, it's terrible, Victoria. It's just terrible. The boy from District 1 dies before he can pull the spear out. My arrow drives deep into the center of his neck. He falls to his knees and halves the brief remainder of his life by yanking out the arrow and drowning in his own blood. I'm reloaded, shifting my aim from side to side while I shout at Rue, "Are there more? Are there more?" But she has to say no several times before I hear it. Rue has rolled to her side, her body curved around the spear, and I shove the boy away from her and pull out my knife, freeing her from the net. One look at the wound and I know it's far beyond my capacity to heal, beyond anyone's probably. The spearhead has buried itself to the shaft in her stomach, and I crouch before her, staring helplessly at the embedded weapon. There's no point in comforting words, in telling her that she'll be all right. She's no fool. Her hand reaches out and I clutch it like a lifeline, as if it's me who's dying instead of Rue. "You blew up the food?" she whispers. "Every last bit," I say. "You have to win," she says. "I'm going to. I'm going to win for both of us now," I say. I hear a cannon and I look up. It must be for the boy from District 1. "Don't go." Rue tightens her grip on my hand. "No, of course not. I'm staying right here," I say as I move in closer to her, pulling her head into my lap, and I gently brush the dark, thick hair back behind her ear. Will you sing? She says, but I barely catch the word. Sing? I think. Sing what? I do know a few songs. Believe it or not, there was once music in my house too, music that I helped make. My father pulled me in with that remarkable voice of his, but I haven't sung much since he died, except when Prim is very sick. And then I hear her sing the same songs like when she was a baby. Sing? My throat is tight with tears, hoarse from smoke and fatigue. But if this is Rue's last request, I have to at least try. The song that comes to me is a simple lullaby, one that we sing fretful, hungry babies to sleep with. It's old, very old, I think, made up long ago in our hills, what my music teacher calls a mountain air. But the words are easy and soothing and promising tomorrow will be more hopeful than this awful piece of time that we call today. I give a small cough and I swallow hard and begin. Deep in the meadow, under the willow, a bed of grass, a soft green pillow. Lay down your head and close your eyes sleepy, and when again they open, the sun will rise. Here it's safe, here it's warm, here the daisies guard you from every harm. Here your dreams are sweet, and tomorrow brings them true. Here is the place where I love you. Rue's eyes have fluttered shut. Her chest moves, but only slightly. My throat releases tears, and they slide down my cheeks, but I have to finish this song for her. Deep in the meadows, hidden far, far away, a cloak of leaves, a moonbeam ray. Forget your woes and let your troubles lay, and when again it's morning, they'll wash away. Here it's safe, and here it's warm. Here the daisies guard you from every harm. The final lines are barely audible as I say, here your dreams are sweet, and tomorrow brings them true. Here is the place where I love you. Everything is quiet and still then, almost eerie. The mockingjays take up my song, and for a moment I sit there watching my tears drip down on her face, and Rue's cannon fires. I lean forward, and I press my lips against her temple. Slowly, as if not to wake her, I lay her head back down on the ground, and I release her hand. They'll want me to clear out now so they can collect the bodies. There's nothing to stay here for. I roll the body from District 1 over onto his face, and I take his pack, retrieve the arrow that ended his life, and I cut Rue's pack from her backpack as well, knowing that she would want me to have it. But I leave the spear in her stomach. Weapons and bodies will be transported into the hovercraft. I've got no use for a spear, so the sooner it's gone from the arena, the better. I can't stop looking at Rue, smaller than ever, a baby animal curled up into the nest of netting, and I can't bring myself to leave her like this, past harm, but seeming utterly defenseless. To hate the boy from District 1, who also appears vulnerable in death, seems inadequate. It's the Capitol that I hate for doing this to all of us. Gil's voice is in my head. His ravings about the Capitol no longer seem pointless. They no longer have to be ignored. Rue's death has forced me to confront my own fury against the cruelty, the injustice that they inflict upon us. But here, even more strongly than I am at home, I feel my impotence. There's no way that I can take revenge on the Capitol, or is there? And then I remember Peta's words on the roof. I only keep thinking that I could think of a way to, show the Capitol they don't own me. That I'm more than just a piece of their games. And for the first time, I understood what he meant. I want to do something right here, right now, to shame them, to make them accountable, to show the Capitol whatever they do or force us to do is a part of every tribute that they can't own. That Rue was more than just a piece of their games, and so am I. A few steps into the wood grows a bank of wildflowers. Perhaps they're really weeds of some sort, but they have blossoms in them, beautiful shades of violet and yellow and white. And I gather up a beautiful bouquet in one armful, and I come back to Rue's side, and slowly, one stem at a time, I decorate her body in the flowers, covering the ugly wounds. Wreathing her face, weaving her hair with bright colors. They're gonna have to show this, or even if they choose to turn the cameras elsewhere in this moment, they'll have to bring them back when they collect the bodies, or everyone will know, and they'll see her and they'll see what I did. So I step back and I take a last look at Rue. She really could be asleep in the meadow after all. Bye, Rue, I whisper, and I press 3 middle fingers of my left hand against my lips, and I hold them out in her direction as I walk away without looking back. The birds fall silent. Somewhere, a mockingjay gives a warning whistle that precedes the hovercraft. I don't know how it knows. It must hear things that humans can't, and I pause. My eyes are focused on what's ahead, not what's happening behind me. It doesn't take long. The general birdsong begins again, and I know that she's gone. Oh, it's true. She's totally stepping on our heart with this. Oh my God. Oh, it just gets you. It's so hard to just read that out and not just crumble. Whew. Another mockingjay, a young one by the look of it, lands on a branch before me, and it bursts out into Rue's melody. The song, the hovercraft, they were all too unfamiliar for this novice to pick up, but it's mastered her handful of notes, the ones that mean she's safe. Good and safe, I say as I pass under its branch. We don't have to worry about her now, I tell it. Good and safe. I have no idea where to go. There's a brief sense of home that I had one night with Rue, and that's vanished. My feet wander this way and that until sunset. I'm not afraid, not even watchful, which makes me an easy target, except that I'd kill anyone I met on sight. Without emotion or the slightest tremor in my hands, my hatred of the Capitol has not lessened my hatred for my competitors in the least, especially the careers. They, at least, can be made to pay for Rue's death. No one materializes, though. There aren't many of us left, and it's a big arena. Soon they'll be pulling out some other device to force us together, and there's been enough gore today. Perhaps we'll get to sleep tonight. I'm about to haul my pack up into a tree and make camp when a parachute floats down and lands in front of me. It's a gift from a sponsor, but why now? I've been in fairly good shape with the supplies. Maybe Hamish has noticed my despondency and he's trying to cheer me up a bit, or could it be something to help my ear? I open the parachute and I find a small loaf of bread. It's not the fine white Capitol stuff. It's made of dark ration grain and shaped in a crescent. It's sprinkled with seeds, and I flash back to Peta's lesson on the various districts bread in the training center. I forgot about this too, Naisa. This bread came from District 11. That's hard. Woo! Ooh, that got me. Ooh, that was too much. Yep, that's too much. Oh boy. Ooh. Oh boy. Yep, they sure did. Oh, book club's got us all crying in the club today. Ooh. I cautiously lift the still warm loaf. What must this have cost the people of District 11 who can't even feed themselves? How many would have to do without to scrape up a coin to put in the collection for this one loaf? It had been meant for Rue, surely, but instead of pulling the gift when she died, they'd authorized Hamish to give it to me as maybe a thank you, or because, like me, they don't like debts to go unpaid. For whatever reason, this is a first, a district gift from a tribute who is not your own. Yeah, they felt that loss. They felt that loss hard, yeah. I lift my face and step into the falling rays of the sun. My thanks to the people of District 11, I say. I want them to know that I know where it came from, that the value of their gift has been recognized. I climb dangerously high into a tree, not for safety, but to get as far away from today as I can. My sleeping bag is rolled neatly into Rue's pack. Tomorrow I'll sort through the supplies. Tomorrow I'll make a new plan. But tonight all I can do is strap myself in and take tiny bites of that bread. It tastes good. It tastes of home. Soon the seal is in the sky, and the anthem plays in my right ear, and I see the boy from District 1, and then Rue. That's all for tonight. 6 of us left, I think. Only 6, with the bread still locked in my hands as I fall asleep at once. Hey, what's that? What's going on? You're okay. Yeah. Yeah, sweet girl. Hi. Hi. Auntie Mabel's here. Say hi, Auntie Mabel. Mommy's crying because Hunger Games is too much today. Yeah, ooh, we didn't even know we were going to read this chapter today. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Sometimes when things are particularly bad, my brain will give me a happy dream. A visit with my father in the woods, an hour of sunlight, maybe a cake with Prim. Tonight it sends me Rue, still decked in flowers, perched high in a sea of trees, trying to teach me to talk to the mockingjays. I see no sign of her wounds, no blood, just a bright and laughing little girl. She sings songs that I've never heard in a clear melodic voice. Hi. Yeah, hi. On and through the night. Oh, it never gets old. It hits real hard. That scene just, it's too much. I got the tears, the real tears, yeah. Oh, you're gonna pull my hair now? When I fully awaken, I'm momentarily comforted, and I try to hold on to that peace and the feeling of the dream, but it slips away quickly, leaving me sadder and lonelier than ever. Heaviness infuses my whole body as if there's liquid lead in my veins. I've lost the will to do the simplest tasks, to do anything but lie here staring unblinkingly through the canopy of leaves. But for several hours I remain motionless, and as usual, it's the thought of Prim's anxious face as she watches me back home on screens that breaks me from my lethargy. I wish I had read these before watching the movies. I know, reading it is so much better. It's so much better. Rue's pack, I give myself a series of commands to follow, like, now you have to sit up, Katniss. Now you have to drink water, Katniss. And I act on the orders with slow robotic motions. Now you have to sort the pack, Katniss. Rue's pack holds my sleeping bag, her nearly empty water skin, a handful of nuts and roots, a bit of rabbit, her extra socks, and her slingshot. The boy from District 1 has several knives, 2 spearheads, a flashlight, a small leather pouch, a first aid kit, a full bottle of water, and a pack of dried fruit. A pack of dried fruit? Out of all the things he might have chosen from, to me, this is a sign of extreme arrogance. Why would you bother to carry food when you have such a bounty back at camp? When you're going to kill your enemies so quickly and you'll be home before you get hungry? I can only hope that the other careers have traveled so lightly when it came to food and they now find themselves with nothing. Speaking of which, my own supply is running low. I finish off the loaf from District 11 and the last of the rabbit. How quickly food disappears here. All I have left are Rue's roots and nuts and the boy's dried fruit, and 1 strip of beef. Now you have to hunt, Katniss, I tell myself. I obediently consolidate the supplies that I want to have in my pack, and after I climb down the tree, I conceal the boy's knives and spearhead into a pile of rocks so that no one else can use them. I lost my bearings with all the wandering around yesterday evening, and I try to head back in the general direction of the stream. I know I'm on course when I come across Rue's 3rd unlit fire. Shortly thereafter, I discover a flock of grusling perched in the tree, and I take out 3 of them before they know what hit them. I return to Rue's signal fire, and I start it up, not caring about the excessive smoke. Oh, yeah? You don't care about the excessive smoke either? Yeah, a lot of the why is missing from the movie, but they did the best they could, I think, with the time that they had. Yeah. Let's see, where was I? Where are you now, Cato? I think as I roast the birds and Rue's roots. I'm waiting right here for you. Who knows where the careers are now? They're either too far for me to reach, or surely this is a trick. Or is it possible? Maybe they're scared of me? They know that I have a bow and arrow, of course. Cato saw me take them out of Glimmer's body. But have they put 2 and 2 together yet? Figured out that I blew up the supplies and killed their fellow career? Possibly they think Thresh did this. Wouldn't he be more likely to revenge Rue's death than I would, being from the same district and all? Not that he ever took any interest in her. Hey, Grumbly Pants. Hey, Grumbly Pants. Hi. Hi, my beautiful Grumble. Are you my beautiful Grumble Pants? Yeah, you are. Yeah, you're my beautiful Grumble. Yeah. Yeah. Do you need to go up? You want to go up? You can go up here. That's okay. You can lay your head down. Yeah, go ahead. That's okay. Yeah. And what about Foxface? Did she hang around to watch me blow up the supplies? No, because I caught her laughing in the ashes the next morning. It was as if someone had given her a lovely supplies. Oh, you have a friend talking to you. Ember's talking to you. Yeah, we need to care about some. Yeah, it's true. We need to. I doubt they're thinking about PETA and if he's lit this signal fire. Cato's sure that he's as good as dead, and I find myself wishing that I could tell PETA about the flowers that I put on Rue, that I understand what he was trying to say on the roof. Perhaps if he wins the games, he'll see me on victory night when they replay the highlights of the game on the screen over the stage where we did our interviews. The winner sits in a place of honor on the platform, and they're surrounded by their support crew. But I told Rue that I would be there, for both of us, and somehow that seems more important than ever, and it seems even more important than the vow I gave Prim. I really think I stand a chance of doing it now. Winning, I mean. It's not just the arrows or outsmarting the careers, that as I have a few times, although those things could help. Ooh. We're dropping everything with your little movements here, Missy. Something happened when I was holding Rue's hand and watching the life drain out of her, and now I'm determined to avenge her, to make that loss unforgettable, and I can only do it by winning and thereby making myself unforgettable. I overcook the birds, hoping someone will show up to shoot, but no one does. Maybe the other tributes are out there beating one another senseless. What's the matter? You want to go on your bouncer? That would be fine. Ever since the bloodbath, I've been featured on the screens more than I cared to. You want to go in your bouncy? You want to go in your bouncy? I know, it's so funny. Naisa, we always say that babies are absolutely absurd little creatures. They're absolutely absurd. They're absurd. You have to hold them so carefully. So carefully. Okay, in you go. You got my hair. Gotta let it go. There you go. Bouncy, bouncy baby. Yeah. And bouncy girl. Eventually, I wrap up my food and I go back to the stream to replenish my water and gather some. But the heaviness from the morning drapes back over me, and even though it's only early evening, I climb a tree and I settle in for the night. My brain begins to replay the events from yesterday. I keep seeing Rue speared, my arrow piercing the boy's neck. I don't know why I should even care about that boy, and then I realize it's because he was my first kill. Along with the other statistics they report to help people place their bets, every tribute has a list of kills. I guess technically I'd get credited for Glimmer and the girl from District 4 too, after dumping that nest on them. But the boy from District 1 was the first person I ever knew would die because of my actions. Numerous animals have lost their lives at my hands, but only one human. I hear Gale saying, how different can it really be? Amazingly, it's similar in execution. A bow was pulled, an arrow was shot, and entirely different in the aftermath. I killed a boy whose name I don't even know. Somewhere his family's weeping for him. His friends are calling for my blood. Maybe he had a girlfriend who really believed that he would be coming home to her. But then I think of Rue's still body and I'm unable to banish the boy from my mind, at least for now. Or I'm able to banish the boy from my mind, at least for now. It's been an uneventful day according to the sky. There have been no deaths, and I wonder how long we'll get until the next catastrophe drives us back together. And if it's going to be tonight, I want to get some sleep first. So I cover my good ear to block out the strains of the anthem. But then I hear the trumpets, and I sit up straight in anticipation. And for the most part, the only communication that the tributes get from the outside of the arena is the nightly death toll. But occasionally, there'll be trumpets, followed by an announcement. And usually, this will be a call to a feast. When food is scarce, the game makers will invite the players to a banquet, somewhere known to all, like the cornucopia, or an inducement to gather all together to fight. Sometimes there's a feast, and sometimes there's nothing but a stale loaf of bread for the tributes to compete for. I wouldn't go in for the food, but this could be an ideal time to take out a few competitors. Claudius Templesmith's voice booms down from overhead, congratulating the 6 of us who remain. But he's not inviting us to a feast. He's saying something very confusing. There's been a change to the rules of the game. A rule change? That in and of itself is mind-bending, since we don't have any rules to speak of, except don't step off your circle for 60 seconds, and of course the unspoken rule about not eating one another. Under the new rule, both tributes from the same district will be declared winners if they're the last 2 alive. Claudius pauses if he knows we're not waiting and not getting it. He repeats it again. The news sinks in. 2 tributes can win this year. If they're both from the same district, both can live. Both of us can live. And before I can stop myself, I call out PETA's name. It's crazy. She's smiling and laughing at me. You thought that was funny. Was mommy silly? Did mommy make silly motions? Was that silly, mommy? Well, this is actually a really great place to start because on Monday we get to start part 3. We're definitely going to finish this book this week and get on to the next one. You like my sounds, Isabella? Thank you. Thank you for liking my sounds. I love the inner monologue. Suzanne Collins is a genius at writing characters' inner monologue. Like, would that us as writers, it's like drool worthy. It's so good. I mean, it's a great stopping point. Yeah, it's a good point to stop, because that means that probably, let's see, it's chapter 19, and we've been reading at least 2 chapters a day, and there are 20, it looks like there's 27 chapters. Yeah, no book club on Sundays, so 19. So we'll definitely finish halfway through the week, and we'll get to start Catching Fire, which is awesome. Yeah, this book is so good. I forgot how good this book is. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I was crying so much. Did you see that? Those were real tears. Like, I can't cry on cue, so those were real tears. Oh my gosh, Rue. It's such a good book, you guys. Oh, such a good book. Yeah. You guys want to hear, I do have physical copies of all of the original 3. I just need to get physical copies of the other 2 because I had digital copies of the newer 2, but all 3 I read. I have the original trilogy, so we're going to start those right away. Big tears. 11 sending her bread sent me, you guys. It was too much. That was too much. What I was going to tell you guys, if you want to hear something really funny about being the baby of someone who does stuff like I do, she is enamored with the tripod. Even when there's no phone on the tripod, sometimes her dad will sit in this chair to rock her, and she stares right at the tripod. I also wish that was in the movie. That's something I really think that they should have included, because that's such a poignant moment. Real tears for all of us. Oh my gosh. How many people cried real tears today when Rue went? I mean, I managed to hold it together until the bread. The bread just is too much. It's too much, sweet girl. Yeah, all of us. Way too much, because we know how poor they are. I know. This is the thing, and I know we say this with so many books that we read, but how much more, but see, this is the thing, Heather. Like, when I'm reading, I'm trying to hold it together so that I can read properly for you all, because if I'm crying, it's harder to read. Just like, I don't know if any of you are singers, but like if you're singing something really emotional, it gets really hard to sing when you're crying because your throat tightens up. So I always try not to let myself cry, because I'm trying to read like with the correct emotion in the correct moment with the correct voices, and I'm like, don't cry, and then you can't see, and everything is just a mess, and I'm crying because they sent her bread and we love her so much, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Ooh. It's like, do you guys remember when we were reading Land of Stories and we got to the end and I was just like in sobs? I was like a sobbing pregnant woman at the end of the last, I guess the end of the last Land of Stories was before I was pregnant, so I was just crying because, yeah, I know, right? And then the second, series, the history, the magic book, what do they call it? I don't know, whatever. I can't think right now. I've got no brain cells. I cry without you crying, but when you cry, I actually weep heavily. It's so much. Seeing someone else cry makes you cry, right? I cried when I first read it, but after having kids, I cried more. Same. I cried the first time too. Yeah, but now we cry more because Rue's so wonderful. Suzanne Collins really did a number on us today, you guys. Yeah. But what I was going to say was, we say it almost with like so many of the books we read, like, the Once and Future Witches and things like that, but like with the state of the world right now, these books are even more poignant and they feel more real. Like, I don't want to like I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, you guys, but like, I'm sure everybody saw how much the stock market tanked yesterday, and I don't have any stake in the actual stock market, so I'm not talking about like having stocks, but like that ripples through the whole country, when things like that happen financially, and you just look at it and it makes you wonder how far we are from a world like this. I'm not saying like Hunger Games specifically, but yeah, the world, not just our country, the whole world. You're right, Amanda. I stand corrected. She's right. Amanda's 100% right. It ripples through the whole world. It affects so much. Yeah, realist. That's right, Ray. I just try to be a realist. But like, I love my baby so much. She's the most beautiful, wonderful, perfect angel that has ever existed in this world or any other. But I did not think that we were going to have the person in charge, if you will, that we have when I decided to have her. I was naively so confident when we made the choice to have her, that because she was purposeful, like she was not an accident, she was very on purpose, and I did not think that we could get to here. And that was naive of me and stupid of me, and I recognize that now. But like, even in, I have this pregnancy journal that I had, and we voted early last year, both Secret Husband and I, and we wrote in the pregnancy journal the week that we voted early, like, hey, look, we did this for you. Isn't it so exciting that you're going to be born under the first woman president? It's going to be so cool. Like, wow, look, you can see girls can do anything and the world's going to get better. We actually wrote that in October when we voted early for her. We wrote that in the pregnancy journal because we really believed. Like, that's how confident we were. We were like, we got you, girl. You're going to be born under the first woman president. What? Like, we really believed that. And we were wrong, clearly. Clearly, we were wrong, which is super, super bummer, because I wanted better for her and for all of our children, yours, mine, and everybody. It does feel surreal. I think it came out of left field for a lot of us when Kern first flat out admits it. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they're starting to regret it. I know some people who did as well, Victoria. Yeah, seriously, Isabella, not now, you don't. Stay where you are. It's also painful looking back on how excited we all were. I know, and I feel so naive. I was so preggo and so naive. The only bit of positivity that I have to offer my sweet girl is that I am hoping, knock on wood, that by the time she goes to school, something will have changed. You know what I mean? Because we have a couple of years, right, before she has to go to school. Tess was 2 the first time. Oh, yes, I don't blame you, Jillian. I don't blame you. I really don't. I did the same thing. So my hope is that things like what Cory Booker did and the protest that's happening today, you know, back in the day before I had her, I used to go to the big protests like that. I wish that I could go to the ones that are happening today. I just don't feel that it's prudent of me to leave an infant to go to things like that. So I am abstaining from going to any protests while she's the size that she is. Same Naisa. I'm very proud of him. Not that he needs my pride, but you know what I mean. So I'm not going to any protests while she's little, because it doesn't feel, she depends on me for food. Exactly. That's exactly right. So I'm not leaving her. But if any of you have been following me for any amount of time, you know that I went to literally an immense amount of marches during 2020. I was at the Capitol for the National Equality March before gay rights, you know, and things, before gay marriage rather, and things like that. And I normally go to things like that and try to participate because I feel like you have to put your money where your mouth is, both your physical money and your body, you know, as well. And even though I am technically like a mixed person in genetics, like blood wise, you can't see it on my face. I look super white, you know? And so I went during 2020 when there were like protests during the shutdown and stuff. I felt really like I had to go all the time, like after work every day. I would get out of work at like 6 or 7 p.m. every day, and I would go to one of the protests because I knew that the way that I looked, I could stand between some of the other people who were there and cops or whatever, and the cops aren't going to do anything to me because I look the way I look. You know what I mean? Like, I hate to say that. It sounds really, it is privileged. It sounds privileged, and it is privileged, right? And so I made it a point to go and stand with people that are less able to stand up, you know, and be kind of like that barrier. But now that I have a baby, I can't do stuff like that anymore. But that's what I used to do. And even then things felt bleak, but they didn't feel as bleak as they do now somehow. Isn't that weird? Like, it felt bleak, but it feels even more bleak. I don't know. This, I guess I took this to a dark place, but when you're reading something like The Hunger Games, it really like comes like bright in your mind, you know? I don't know. It's hard. I feel like I haven't haven't done as much recently as I should. Being able to acknowledge and using your privilege. It is, yeah, no, I mean, you have to, right? I mean, there were multiple times when I was out in New York City at different protests, and there would be cops that we would see, like, you know, push somebody, a person of color or someone who was obviously LGBTQIA or whatever like that, and there would be like a bunch of us that would circle around to like get them to stop doing things like that. Correct, Naisa, that is correct. Yes, I fully believed it was not possible. My husband and I were having the same convo about parallels, the series in our world. Yeah, it's too... Hi, I know you don't know, and I'm glad you don't know. I hope that by the time you're old enough to know, this is of the past. This is a part of book club that's my favorite, though, connecting. Yeah, we have to connect. Yes, that's true. Victoria is exactly right. If we're good parents, we're going to heal. The kids will help us heal it for the future if we raise them right. You know what I mean? You know what's really, I don't want to, it's not funny. I don't want to say it's funny, but like, okay, so this is our baby's baby book. This feels like I've taken a non sequitur, but it's not a non sequitur because it's how I know that I picked the correct parent to co-parent with for my baby. And I say co-parent, not like we're separate, like we're parenting together, you know what I mean? But this is her baby book. And when we fill it out, we fill it all out together, you know, like we put everything in here together, but there's a section in here that is about like what things are going on. Oh, look at her little baby feetsies. These were her feetsies. Let's see, milestones. Okay, so this is the world around you, right? So this is what we had to fill out of like the things when she was born. And the first thing on this is world leaders. And this is like, who was the president when you were born? And you can tell, this is probably, I don't know if you can tell, but this is my handwriting. I wrote it, and I wrote the name of the current president because we have to be honest. I can't lie to her about who was the president when she was born. And my husband, as we were filling this out, he said, as I was writing this name, he said, fascist pig. And I laughed, and I was like, yeah, he is. And he goes, no, write it in the book. And I was like, you want me to write the word fascist pig in our daughter's baby book? And he was like, yeah, she has to know. And I was like, okay. And I wrote it. So when she reads this as an adult, you're sad about him too. She will know, yeah, or that, Jillian. They all work. But he was like, she has to know that we did not want this, you know? And I was like, he's right. We have to be honest. Yeah. And so we wrote it in her book. I know. Yeah, we cannot erase. That's exact. I know. I'm sorry I made you sad by saying sad thing. I'm sorry. Mommy, sorry. It's funny, but it's also real, right? Yeah. And I was like, you know what? He's right. He's right. We have to be honest with her about the things that go on. We can't sugarcoat it and just pretend that it never happened, you know? It will, you know what? Someday some kid in AP US history is going to be trying to figure out how the F this happened, and they're going to be very confused. They're going to be like, how did this happen? How did they vote for him again? I know, honey, I know. Okay, it sounds like someone's hungry, so as wonderful as this conversation has been, we're going to go eat because we went longer than usual. We got to eat some foodies. Yeah, we're going to eat right now. Okay, we're going to go eat. I love you guys, and I'll see you on yeah, seriously, Amanda. All right, we will see you all on Monday, and we'll read section 3, right? Say bye-bye. We love you. Have a great Sunday, you guys. Or whole weekend and then Sunday.